Family relationships provide resources that help individuals cope with stress, engage in better behavior, and build self-esteem. Doing Family with Bunmi is a talk show that brings relevant topics together that help families foster better relationships as they journey through life. Do well to follow us across all our social media platforms. Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we are also on App Store and Play Store. Download and subscribe. Thank you. I'm excited to have you with me again on another episode of Doing Family with Bunmi, coming to you on African Entertainment Television. Teenhood is a complex phase of life where teenagers undergo changes intellectually, physically, and emotionally. And as they try to cope with these changes, they come into constant conflict with their parents as they assert their independence and take control of their lives. That and more we'll be discussing on today's episode of the show. I am your host, Bunmi Oyebadijo is my name. Do stay with us. We'll be right back. This is Doing Family with Bunmi. On today's episode of the show, we'll be looking at a very peculiar topic, teenagers misunderstood. And with me to discuss this very interesting and controversial topic are two very intentional teenagers. Please join me to welcome Isaac Modi. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you, ma. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, and Inyolua Agbola, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Now, Isaac, looking at you, it's a bit confusing to say you're a teenager. Do you want to tell us a little bit about how blessed you are, how this height has worked for you as a teenager?
Well, at least it has given me respect.
Oh.
If people see me, they just respect me.
That's nice.
Oh, that's a big man. That's a big man. You don't know I'm a very small boy, but it's been good. We bless God for everything.
All right. So, what is it like finding your shoe size, or passing through a short door or a small door?
I literally have to bend almost every time, except if they have extra large doors. Then I just breeze in. I walk. Then don't even get me started on when I'm in the keke or something off. It is on a car.
Okay. So the keke mawa is like the tricycle that we move.
Yes, exactly. Yes,
we move around with a lot.
It's extremely uncomfortable.
But so far so good. You've done well. Yes. That's nice.
Thank you.
So in Yolua, comparing your size with that of Isaac's, permit me to do that comparison. How would you say your size has affected being who you are as a teenager? Because in this part of the world, people tend to, like he said, his size commands respect. So how has size played out for you?
Well, my own size doesn't exactly, when people see me, their first thought is, oh, she's a child.
Okay.
And, they tend to want to not give me as much respect as they themselves would command, and it can be quite frustrating because I'm on a line and then there are other people and then you're attending to the other people before me because I'm smaller.
They think you're smaller.
Exactly.
Or they think
exactly. I don't have a problem with it. I'm supposed to be a child, so
yeah.
But on the other hand, I think it has a really great advantage because by the time I'm looking 50, nobody would know.
Oh, you're thinking that far already.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. So once again, I say both of you, you're welcome to the show. So now, teenagers misunderstood. Many people tend to think, oh, it's a teenager. It's a teenager. They tend to associate teenagehood with rebellion, disobedience, rudeness.
Yes.
In your own opinion, Isaac, what do you think about that? Do you think it's an established fact, or do you think they don't really understand teenagers?
Okay. First off, a misunderstanding just means a conflict of interests.
Okay.
Yes, or ideas, ideologies.
Okay.
So people say, or parents usually say that teenagers are rebellious and all that. No, I think it comes up usually because once someone has a different idea from theirs, and especially someone that they feel they are
have control over.
Yes, in control of. Yes, it sparks up a lot of there are sparks flying around. Why would you talk to me like that? Why would you do this? Yes. But sometimes, why would you think that? But they forget that these people are starting to come into their identity as adults. Yeah. They're starting to grow their ideas. Okay. They're establishing themselves in the world. And sometimes I forget that they forget that they are supposed to, or they have once passed through this.
Okay, and they're supposed to be more understanding.
Yes, more understanding, more
accommodating.
Yes. Towards it, but unfortunately.
So, Ini, coming to you now, Isaac has helped us to understand that when parents don't seem to agree with the concept of their teenagers or what their teenagers are trying to embrace or put forward, there seems to be sparks all over the place. Now, coming to you, do you think that trying to put your ideas forward, trying to establish your concept or what you believe in, do you think if it comes to your parents, if it comes across to your parents as rude, do you think that's a good way to say it?
As much as we are our parents' children, we're also part of the world. Okay. So our family values may vastly differ from
other people.
Exactly. Yeah. So when the children go outside and then see something that is different from what they know, what they are used to at home, and then maybe they bring it up in a conversation, or they think it just they're able to relate better with it. Okay. The parents, I don't think that's such a bad thing, because your children being different from you is not a bad thing. It doesn't mean that, the parents got it wrong somewhere, or, they didn't teach the child properly. People are different. Even as, as parents, as couples, the husband is very different from the wife. They have different ways of running things. When daddy's at home, it's different from when mom is at home,
Of course, the atmosphere changes.
Exactly. So I think that's just how it is. And the child having a different opinion from the parents doesn't mean that
the child is being rebellious,
it doesn't
or rude or disobedient.
Exactly. It just means we have different opinions, and that's perfectly fine.
That's perfectly fine. That's deep, coming from a teenager, because when parents in Africa, let me put it like that, when parents in Africa give an instruction, they expect their child to listen and to obey. But now that you have helped us to understand that the lives of the children, don't end in the family. They go out, they interact, they mix up with other people. Exactly. And so they might find something that they are, they like, something that tickles them, something that makes them curious. Yes. And in the process of finding that out, they discover that, oh, this is not so bad after all. All right. So that's true. I like that. Now, I want to bring up a popular saying. Maybe it's not a popular saying, but I want to bring up a saying that a teenager is not a child. A teenager is not a child. Give him due respect. A teenager is not an adult. Support them. Do you agree with that?
Yes, 100%. It's essentially what it is. Okay. Yes, because there's a word I would use. It's called stasis. So we are in that age where we are not so there, but we are on our way there. Your way there. So we have left children completely. We are not adolescent now. We've left it completely.
Okay, you're moving towards the young adult.
Yes, exactly. Stage. We are becoming adults. Okay. So we are not there yet, but we are on our way. It's a fast track. Okay. Actually. So yes, I agree with it 100%. Yes.
Okay. You also share Isaac's sentiment.
Yes, I think that saying is very apt, because, like you said, we're not there yet. So along the way, we would need, advice, we would need support and all of that. But we are not children also. anymore.
Okay.
You know, we are smarter, we are wiser,
of course.
you know, more.
And that's why parents can say, oh, okay, my teenager is at home, I should be able to do this without wondering what is happening there.
Yes.
You can take more responsibility
More
now.
responsibility.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, but don't you think that it's because the parents feel so concerned that, oh, I don't want them to get it wrong. That is why they need to do it exactly the way I want them to do it.
Okay.
Are they putting too much pressure on you?
Is it even pressure? I think pressure would be the wrong word. I don't, the right word doesn't come to mind, but I don't think it's pressure.
Okay.
Because you cannot raise two people with the exact
Let's say
same
unrealistic expectation.
Yes, exactly. I think that's perfect.
Okay.
You can't raise two people I'm sorry.
No problem.
You can't raise two people the same way. Even twins. Identical twins do not have the same DNA. They will have very disconcerting and different ambivalent views. So you cannot raise your child the way you guys might not even make the same mistakes. Something happened one day, and my mom was telling me that, that my father reacted this way because he saw something in me that reminded him of how he was. And he didn't want me to make the same mistakes he made.
Did.
Now, I and my father, I don't even think we are alike at all.
Okay.
So whatever he saw, he knows. But also the manner of approach matters. I'm not saying he saw wrong now, but the way he addressed it can be an issue. So the way it's addressed too is an issue.
Okay, and that's where giving them respect
comes in. Yes, exactly. So you wanted to say something?
Yes, and who's to say the way they did it is the right way?
The way
they did it is the right way, is the only way to go.
Okay.
You know? I understand that they don't want us to make the same mistakes. They are trying to shield us from certain, you know, situations. But sometimes we need those exact situations. We need to be in those, you know, enter those problems to be able to grow. We need to encounter those problems to be able to, because if our parents shield us so much from them, and then when we are not with our parents anymore, maybe we have moved out or something, and then we encounter those problems in the future, what are we going to do?
But do you know that there is no point reinventing the wheel? There's no point reinventing the wheel. If someone has already invented the wheel, why don't you take a cue from that person? Why do you want to encounter problems that there is someone that can give you advice against such action? Okay,
I want to say something. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can take cues, but still, you know, make, let's say, reinvent the wheel. You know, you don't have to encounter the same problems. You can reinvent the wheel without any lessons. Exactly, without any problems. You know, maybe in trying to shield us from certain problems, what they can do is say, oh, okay, this is what happened, and this is how I went about it, and this is the outcome. I don't want you to go through that. So maybe when this happens, you do this, you go about it this way. That would be, I think that's better.
Okay. Okay, so Isaac, you wanted to say?
Oh, yes. You can't exactly prevent someone from making mistakes. And usually it's better you let them make the mistakes earlier and learn from it
than
later. Imagine, you know, there's this saying that a fool at 40 is a fool forever. Imagine if the fool had been a fool at 20, he wouldn't be a fool
it would have been easier to take.
It would have been easier. So those are the steps they should consider taking.